Hey there! In this tutorial we will solve a prediction based problem using a decision tree. This is an intermediate level problem, a classification based problem where we will create a decision tree and visualize it with the purpose if we feed any new data it would be able to classify it correctly, and the data set we are using is the iris data set. So let's look at the code. So at starting we are importing all the important libraries such as Panda, sklearn, dataset, sklearn.model selection, sklearn.tree for importing dataset for the purpose of model selection so that we can split it into train and test ratio, and sklearn.tree to import and create decision tree classifier, and finally we are importing matplot library to plot graph and figures. So in the next step we are loading iris dataset directly from the sklearn. So let's execute the code. So as we are able to see the output, it is successfully imported. Next, iris that head, we are printing some rows and we can visualize the data, and here are some options which are useful and we can use as per need. So in the next step we are preparing data to split it up into training and testing ratio. So x variable is dropping the column name species from the dataset. So this variable does not hold the column name used for the classifier, or we can say the class name. So first let's have a look on the dataset. So as you are able to see, we are dropping this column. So this is the basically class name we will use as a y variable for the prediction. So x is equal to iris dot drop, and we are dropping column species, and y variable holds only the classification or class label name. So now we are splitting data into training and testing sets. For this purpose we are using built-in function train test build, and we are passing x, y and test size. So we are using test size of 80 and 20 ratio. Test size 0.2 means we are using 20% data as a test size, and remaining 80% data will be used for the training with the random size for the random state 42. So with the 80-20 ratio, training data has been split in x train, x test dataset, y train and y test variable. So now we will create a decision tree classifier. So CLF is a variable where we are in which we are creating a decision tree. So decision tree classifier with the random state 42, CLF.fit method is used to train the data set on decision tree, and we are training it on x train and y train. Okay, and for prediction we will use x test and y test for testing our decision tree classifier. Okay, now let's execute this code. So the code has been executed and the tree has been generated. Okay, basically PLT figure size 30 by 30, and in which we are plotting a tree with feature names and classes name basically as a class label. So we can also use decision tree to export tree result to a text representation as following. So this is also a visual representation of a decision tree. So this This is the root node. So if the petal length in centimeter is less than equal to 2.45, then it will be class 0. Or if the petal length greater than 2.45 centimeter, and if the petal length less than equal to 4.75 and the petal width less than equal to 1.65, then it will be a class 1. And if the petal length greater than 2.45 and petal length less than equal to 4.75 but petal width greater than 1.65, then it will be a class 2. So it will be a very easy to read the tree decision semantics with this text representation. So now we will predict our decision tree classifier by feeding a new data points. So new data variable hold a new data points where we are passing sepal length, sepal width, petal length, petal width, and we are using clf dot predict new data. The new data points we are just created, and printing new data points and predicted species class as the class label. So prediction for the new data point is Cytosa. I hope so you got understanding of using decision trees for classification purpose. Thank you.